All right, folks. Ain't nobody on. We are about to start soon. CD form, make sure ain't nothing in my teeth. Hey, CD form. Hey, people. Hey, people. There's nothing else to do but sing. Hey, folks. We are about to get started. We did it.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Good. I'm just trying to make sure. We're slowly getting started. Uh-oh, you froze. But it's a cute froze face. There you are. There you are. Oh, we can't hear you. It's all good. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. You froze again. You may have to log off and come back on. There you are.
Okay. Somebody just texted me and said that your account is private, so people can't join.
No, it's under CD Form accounts. And they can also join if they look at you. It's not under my personal account. Bloop.
Boop. Know that. Oh, wait, she just
right. You can't join because it's not under my personal account. That is what's going on. So,
all right. So she just texted me and said, never mind, she had the wrong page. So we good.
See? Exactly.
You know what you're doing.
Right. Let me do my business first before I do all of the other stuff because I got to do my business first. Hi, I'm Danny Terrell. I am the curator with Central District Forum for Arts and Ideas. Welcome to Physical Distancing Intimate Conversations. I am so excited to have Omitosin King with us in this conversation. If you are just joining us and you don't know what this is about a month and a half ago, through multiple conversations with us at the organization, we decided to just start talking to people and put it on Instagram Live. It was really just this thing of wanting to understand how when I talk about this coronavirus has been affecting Black folks in particular, especially Black folks that are artists, that are in the work of food, in the work of healing, in the work of everything, because we touch on everything. So the goal of this conversation is, one, to get to know people a little bit better and what they do in the world. Two, to pay them, because if you look on our Instagram and our Facebook, Omi has a PayPal account. We will get to that later.
No, don't use
Go
PayPal.
ahead.
I mean, you can use PayPal, but Venmo and Cash App is all Omitosin.
Okay, or we can do that. Omitosin is just Omitosin?
Yep. Cash App has a $sign in front of it. So it's $sign Omitosin, and then Venmo is just Omitosin. If you look at it, I'm the only one.
All right, y'all heard that. So make sure that y'all do that. Say that again.
I said it pays to have an African name. I'm the only one. If you search my name, I'm the only one that comes up.
Love it. Hold on, I'm trying to put this in because I'm not tech savvy.
You're not by yourself.
I
don't see. Okay, there's the chat thing.
There it is. You know how you see somebody do something and then you try to do it?
Oh, I gave up doing that.
Right. I'm going to have to come from Randy Ford. So, folks, again, welcome. I'm Danny Terrell. We are here talking to Omitosin King. Omitosin, the spiritual curator, brings many gifts, spiritual tools, and workshops to help her clients with their personal transformation. Using intuitive Ifa readings, reiki, chakra balancing, ritual coaching, as well as crystals and other tools to assist clients in getting an understanding of their own energy and healing. Omitosin is a graduate of the Inversions Institute of Spiritual Development, IVISD, where she studied spiritual life development and is also I cannot say that word, initiated.
Initiated.
I don't know why I can't say that word today.
We all have
Initiated
one word
senior.
we can't say. I can
Right.
say yeah.
See,
Convenience.
exactly.
That throws me
Right.
off every time.
Yeah. Initiated priest, senior priest in the West African indigenous tradition of Ifa, meaning the wisdom of nature. I'm so excited to talk to you. I'm always excited to talk to you.
Yeah.
You know, I try to get my little Saturdays in where I see you from a distance.
Right. It's all love.
Right, definitely. Yeah, it's all love. I'm excited to talk to you because we don't have a lot of conversations with people that are involved with spiritual work, with healing work, especially Black folks. A lot of times in society, there used to be a thought that this was like a woo-woo thing, especially with white folks trying to get in touch with something, but Black folks have been practicing this way before Christianity. Healing work with crystals, with earth, with nature, with ancestors. What brought you into doing this work?
Oh, I think I was really, this sounds cliche, but I was born to do this because I was always I was the kid that liked to like play in the mud and run around and be in the trees. And, you know, I was not really a tomboy, but I just like to be in nature. So,
Right.
I learned later on, and it's such a long story, but
it's your story, so tell it.
Okay. My grandmother was a root woman. My great grandmother, my grandfather's mother. That makes her my great grandmother, right?
Yes.
She made all kinds of herbal remedies and would like sell them to people, and she knew all about herbs and all of that. And then my grandmother, she was just a naturalist. Like she would go, you tell her she had a headache, you had a headache, and she would be like, go out there and pick this, and this, and bring it back to me.
Right.
And then she would, you know, make some kind of tea and be like, drink this, baby, and take a nap. You'll be all right. Then you wake up and you're like, okay.
Grandma was right.
Right. So, and then I started tracing my own roots because, you know, I grew up in Canton, Ohio, small town, Ohio, and there weren't a lot of, there was a lot of Black folks, but they weren't really like, most of them were from the South. Their families were from the South or whatever.
Right.
But I say all that to say, I'm just going full circle. I'm just going on a tangent, but I have always been the odd child that would like feel things and know things, and my mother kind of picked up on it. And when I was little, she would say, and I say this all the time, she'd say, yeah, don't pay any attention to Shannon, because that's my birth name is Shannon. She would say, don't pay attention to Shannon, she got imaginary friends. But my mom knew that what I was seeing was real, because I was getting messages at a young age. So growing up, you know, so then I fast forward, I go to college in Durham, North Carolina, and I went to live with my great auntie. It's like my grandfather's auntie, who had this old house in downtown Durham, North Carolina. She had like a guest house in the back. So I lived in the guest house and she lived in the main house. And then something happened and I ended up having to go and stay in the house with her.
Right.
And my Aunt Charity, her name was Lou Charity Catlett. She had a full beard, like all the way. And she was like, you know, she wasn't a big woman, but she was like real, like kind of stock heavy, or what do you call that?
Right.
Stocky, I guess. Anyway, she had a room that I couldn't go in. And I was like, okay, I wonder why I can't go in this room, right? And so I was obedient, you know. I was like, I'm not going to be sneaky. I'm not going to wait until but one day she left the door open and left the house. So I went scary and stood in the doorway, and she had all of these pots and statues, and it was money on the ground, and it was you know, she had just stuff hanging, dried things hanging and stuff. And I was fascinated. I was like, and scared at the same time, because when I was a little kid, I snuck and watched. You know how when you were little, we had HBO because I'm old, right? So we had HBO when I was little, and it would we had like the slider cable thing. So I would sneak in the middle of the night and watch stuff when my parents were asleep. And I watched the movie. You ever heard the movie The Serpent and the Rainbow?
Mm-hmm.
I was like 9
Yeah.
and watched that movie and was scared to death, right? So I had this fear of like voodoo and zombies and all this stuff because
Right.
that's how they got us, you know. Like they made us scared of our own culture because they demonized it. And
Exactly.
so somebody's coming to talk to me. So what was I saying? I snuck and watched the movie, so I was afraid. So then when I saw this stuff from my auntie's house, I was like, oh snap, she's in the
Oh
room.
wow.
She's like, I was freaked out. One day I came home and she had this big ass pot sitting on the stove and it was boiling and it was just like, what's in this pot, right? It was chicken feet. Like, so she used to make charms and stuff with chicken feet and sell them to people. So anyway, I got fascinated. So then I started learning about my own culture and I found out that part of like 2/3 of my lineage is Nigerian. So I wanted to learn more about that culture. And long story short, I keep saying that, but the story keeps getting longer. I met this woman who does readings and she was like, you have something special with you. You have this energy with you. She was like, you should like learn more about your culture. Because she had been doing readings for tarot readings for me. And I said, well, I've been learning about, you know, Santeria. And I went to this woman and I got a reading and she was a white woman. So I was like, no, that's not my culture. But I realized that she wasn't white. She was Cuban. Right? Because we make assumptions. And so I had judged her, but she was right on because the things that she told me was the same things that I was told in Africa when I got initiated. So I got initiated as a priest of Ifa, or a priest of Orisha priest in 2009. And I've been doing this kind of spiritual work ever since. And then, I'm sorry, I missed one big chunk. And then I went to 3 years to Intervisions Institute, which is a school that was founded by Iyanla Vanzant. And, you know, it was just an honor to just get to meet her and love her. And this was before she was Iyanla right now. This is, you know, a while ago. And she just, you know, she changed my life. She really changed my life. And so she was my first mentor, godmother, teacher. And so I graduated from her school and then come to find out she was also an Ifa priest. So the things that we were learning at Intervision were in alignment with the things that I would be doing as a priest, but I didn't know. So here we are.
Here we are. How do you, during this time, how has this time affected you? Because as a healer, someone who thinks deeply and feels deeply and is affected deeply, I saw a post a while ago and you just were in tears and you were talking about the virus and the lack of touch and the lack of being around people. And we tend to forget that our energy workers, our healers, they are affected in a completely different way than the rest of us. And how has this affected you? And what are you doing in the process to power yourself up?
It has been a battle. This has been rough. And I'm one of those people like, I'm cool. You know, I can meditate. I can get myself in balance. I know how to do all that, right? Clear my energy and stuff. But this energy of, at first it was, the energy of fear. Because it was like the boogeyman. It's like if you go outside, the boogeyman is gonna get you and you're gonna die. That's how they were making it sound. Like kids were freaking out, right? Because it was like, I can't go outside because I'm gonna catch the thing and I'm gonna get sick and I'm gonna die. So that's kind of what it started. And then people started dying. Like people I know started dying. Because it's one thing, you hear about statistics of death and all that. And to me, death is like a regeneration anyway. I believe we're reincarnated in our bloodline, but like we're ancestors return. But in this case, this has felt like a cleansing to me. Like people are dying off because it's also like spiritual warfare in this situation. You know what I'm saying? Because at the same time, and I don't mean to go all woo-woo on everybody, but this is a real thing. We had some big cosmic shifts in the universe. Like there was like a full moon, there was a super moon, and then we had, you know, what did we go into? There was just a bunch of different cosmic things all happening on the same day, right?
Right.
And so the energy, like all my spiritual friends, we are like, girl, you okay? You know, we're like checking on each other because we all feel, especially like empathic people. And I get it. Most of my clients are empaths. Oh, most of my coaching clients are empaths that don't know their spiritual gifts or don't even know that they have them. So they, you know, spirits, there's no accidents. They send them to me because I've been that, you know, I'm really, really sensitive. And so, so people I knew started dying and it just hurt me. I was just hurt. And then my good girlfriend called me in tears. She texted me and was like, call me as soon as you can. And it didn't seem urgent. And then she called me and left a message. It was like, I need you to call me right now. And so I called her and I was like, what happened? And so she got diagnosed and sounded horrible. I mean, I could hear it in her voice. I could hear that, you know, she was scared. She was crying. She was freaking out. I was like one of the first people that she called. And I said, okay. And this is when you can feel bad for yourself. I was all woo-woo about the people that I knew that were passing away and stuff.
Exactly.
But she called me in need. And so I just kicked into like, okay, I can't be falling apart with her on the phone. I gotta talk her through this because this is not a death sentence, right?
Right.
So I was like, this is not a death sentence. We gonna work through this. And I know some healing remedies. Thank you, Grandma Morgan, for teaching me how to heal some stuff with some herbs. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because I said, you need to get some eucalyptus, and I started naming all these herbs and I sent them to her. And I said, you need to be steaming. You need to you got to keep your lungs moist. And I was telling her all the things to do. And then something kicked in and said, make her smile. You need to be making her laugh. So then I just started being my silly, crazy self and on the phone. And we started laughing about something we had done together a while ago or whatever. And by the end of the conversation, she was like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And she had a plan, right? And now, by the grace of all things holy, she's still with us. She is COVID free and she's good. Which that was the moment that made me like come out of that fear, that heaviness.
Right.
I was like, okay, people you can beat this. So I don't have to be in fear that I'm gonna die or my children are gonna die, you know. So
we often forget at times that laughter is also spiritual work.
Right.
And that and it's so funny. It's so funny that you said that. I was on a Zoom call with like two of my really, really, really close friends, and like two of us, me and one of the other ones, like we're going through it right now. Like we're going through a lot. And then we were Randy is one of the people in J Mason Third. They don't mind me sharing this, I know. But Randy was like, we just need to like do something happy. And then it brought me to tears, number one, because we forget that even in the midst of going through it, it doesn't mean that you erase something, but you need some sense of joy. Joy is hope. So I just wanted to like touch on the fact that you said that we all often forget that joy is also laughter is also part, silliness and goofiness is also a part of our healing and our journey. And it's not just about fixing a problem with this other solution. Maybe the solution is just, I need to laugh.
Yeah. Or dance. You know what?
Yeah.
What got me to experience joy, man, and now I'm addicted, is D-Nice. Man, I am club quarantine, and because the music he plays, it's poppy music sometimes, but it's happy music. And so I started dancing around my kitchen, and Christy called me, was like, oh, you got to listen to this music. Let's do a Zoom. And we had like 7 people on a Zoom. We were all dancing. And at that point, I was like, okay, I need to be happy and I need to just be good. But this has been rough. This has been really rough. It's been hard to be empathic and feel all of this energy and feel people's emotions and how scared they are. And, you know, and I live in an apartment building. What'd you say?
What else are you doing for yourself outside of the dancing and the movement? What are you doing for yourself?
That's a good question. I had a good girlfriend of mine who does Reiki and stuff. Literally 2 days ago, we were on a walk, and she said, "Who's doing work on you?
Mm.
And I hadn't even thought about it. And I was like, well, no one. And she was like, you need, with all of this, yeah, you know how to heal yourself for the most part, but you need a little extra boosts every week or something. And she said, I would love to, you know, like work with you and do some Reiki, you know, and help you, even if it's distance Reiki. And I was like, okay. Because you got to ask permission. Because people are out here doing Reiki on people long distance and they don't know. Ask permission. You got to, that's the number one spiritual healer rule. Ask permission.
Right.
Yeah. So
you touched on something. A lot of baths. I'm learning.
With salt, you got to have salts in the bath, like Epsom salt, sea salt, some kind of salt to ground that energy, right? Because you got to stay grounded.
I love that. So we come across a lot of people that call themselves healers and workers and all of these things. And it's not about being shady, but your thoughts on that, because I know there are things that I feel, but I refuse to call myself something. One, I haven't done the work, and I just think like bragging about something that you are not ready to put out in the world because you feel this. Like, what are your thoughts on that, and how should people move into that work if this is what they are actually called to do and destined to do?
The first thing that comes to my mind when you say that is trust your own voices, right? Because you don't need a certification, an initiation, you know, a ritual or anything to do what spirit is telling you to do, right? Now, granted, you may need some sort of medium or tool to divine with spiritual energy to know if you're doing the right thing or not, or if that's the right thing for you or that other person. But if spirit tells you, I need you to go outside and pick some of these leaves and pull some of this stuff out the ground and put it in a pot and make a tea and drink it or bathe in it or whatever it is that you're doing with nature, listen. If you walk into a room and some don't feel quite right, don't go in that room. You know what I'm saying? Like, people have to start by listening. Now, granted, you need a mentor. You need somebody that has been doing this for a while, or that's more, not doing this as a specific thing, but just doing the spiritual work and are able to balance their own energy. You know what I'm saying? Because one thing, if you're going to a healer for spiritual work, they have to feel grounded to you. You know what I'm saying? And you got to trust your gut, because it's a lot of snake oil salesmen. I'm sorry to say that. And there's also people that are risky. You know, they want to. When I became a priest, one of the main things that I had to make an oath to do was never harm anyone on purpose. Like, I'm not putting hexes on people. I'm not, you know, sending them negative spiritual energy. I can't do that, because what happens is that karma will get me like 3 times as bad. And I don't care about you that much.
For real.
But people got to start trusting their gut. And then once you start feeling, because most of the clients that I get are people that are like, so I don't know why I'm seeing things, I'm hearing things, I can't sleep, they talking to me, they showing up in my spirits are showing up, and I'm seeing this and I'm doing that, like I'm having these dreams, and just don't know what to do with all that energy or information. So my job is to help people that are having these experiences learn how to balance themselves so that they don't hurt themselves or hurt anybody else. Right. And then, of course, grow and elevate, you know, in your spiritual energy. If you're empathic, you know, you can feel the emotions and sometimes hear the thoughts of other people. Right. And it becomes a lot. Like, I don't do crowds very well. And I'm only trying to be at the party unless I'm working, because there's a safe distance when I'm working. Like, I'm doing food and I'm doing bar and whatever. There's a safe distance. But when I can't do crowds because I can feel everybody's energy. And if people's, excuse my French, if people's shit ain't right, I gotta go.
Exactly.
Because I take it home. You know what I'm saying? Like, I pick up energy, right? And sometimes, I tell this to my clients all the time, if you go, like, let's say you're going to the grocery store, and I always use this example, and you were fine, you were happy, you was having a good day, the sun was shining, and you go in the grocery store, and you walking down the aisle, and all of a sudden you start feeling, and then by the time you leave, you're angry, and ain't nothing happened. Check yourself, because it's probably you picked up somebody's energy. So then you got to do the things, you know, run some crystals over your smudge, take a salt bath. Those are the things that I do. You asked me that. Eat leafy green foods, things that ground you, things that keep you stable. And go to the bathroom. It sounds real crazy, but it releases energy.
Right.
Go to the bathroom. Release all of that.
Yeah.
Make water the ritual. When you're taking a shower, you imagine the water healing you, and imagine it washing away anything negative, any energy that's. I'm actually going to do an exercise tomorrow about spiritual protection on my Sunday service, and we're going.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because not last week, but the week before, you were talking about water during your Sunday service, and I remember that very specifically about the cleansing power of water and surrounding yourself by water. And let's talk about Sunday service. I do want to touch on that, because you do Sunday service every Sunday from 11 to 1, I believe?
Every other Sunday. Yep.
Every other Sunday. That's why I wasn't there last Sunday.
The first and the third. Yep.
Okay, this Sunday. I'm so glad I'm good on the schedule. Sunday service started at Wanawari as a place. It was in that place, but I know it started much more than that.
Yeah.
What is it like? What is Sunday service if people don't know? Let's talk about that first.
Okay.
And we're going to run a little bit over time. I'm sorry, but.
I'm good. I mean, if you good, I'm good.
I'm at home.
No, I mean, I'm fine, because I know I'm long-winded. I talk a lot. I'm just excited, because I feel like when I tell my story that people like me, the eyeballs of the world, us spiritual birdies, can get it and be like, oh, I mean, the biggest thing Iyanla Vanzant ever said to me was, there's nothing wrong with you. And it's just like, okay.
Right.
If mama say it, then it must be good.
There's nothing wrong.
Sunday service started because I was missing church, so to speak. And I'm not a Christian like that. I was raised in the church. My grandmother was an evangelist. And my other grandmother was just very active in her church. So I was missing church. And then I was like, I kept going to different places trying to find church, because I lived in the South for a long time. I lived in Houston, Texas for 8-9 years. And so I got used to church culture, the fellowship of it and everything. And I like to teach. That's kind of my thing. And I'm not a theologian, and I don't get all deep with it. I want people to get things on a basic level, and then they can do their own exploration to go deeper if they need to, right? But you got to know some basic spiritual principles, or you're going to jack yourself up or continue to feel like you're crazy, right?
Right.
So Wanawari, Elishaba, and Inye, I don't even know how we ended up having the conversation. I told her, Elishaba and I sat down and had lunch, and I was like, I want to do this thing. And I said, I kind of miss church, but I want to be able to make it like a workshop, or teach some people some things they didn't know, or some tools they didn't know, because I feel like there's all these people of color in Seattle who either have a church background and aren't really fooling with the church too much, or are new age hippie children like myself, or native, or just don't fit into the non-denominational. I went to, it was a unity church. It was the closest thing I could find, because they had an altar and they had crystals and they had all the hippie stuff, right? But they just didn't have the African, they didn't have the spiritual that I needed. So anyway, I just decided, instead of trying to look for it, I was like, well, why? Because Damon, my lovely son, Damon Bomar, said, you need a church. He said this 3 years ago. He was like, you need a church. And I was like, I'm not no pastor. What do I know? Who am I to teach? I don't need no church. Anyway. So here we are. And so we have an altar that we set up. It's like an ancestor altar. I start with, so I had a basic 4 things that I do every time, but then I just let spirit move. So what I thought it was going to look like, it never turns out that way. And it was kind of an open dialogue. And I would just, like the first one, I was just talking about how you connect with your own spirit. And we did a meditation. Now my meditations are a little different. I learned how to do this at Intervisions with Yama. We'd have Sunday service where you just sit in silent meditation, and they would play all this different kind of spiritual music. Everything from like Indian flutes to Negro spirituals to gospel to poppy spiritual music like Indiari, whatever. And I was just like, I'm gonna do that. And I just started doing it because that was what I wanted. And then like the first time 30 people showed up, I was floored because I thought like 10, 5. Right. I don't know why I was thinking so small, but I was like, it would be like 10 people. And the second time, 50 people showed up. Wow. And it was all different people. So I was so overwhelmed. I had a moment in the kitchen. I just lost it. Y'all can tell I could cry a lot. I just started crying, and I was just like, I feel so blessed that Spirit is allowing me the opportunity to be a leader. Chrissy's always like, I wish you would hurry up and do what you're supposed to do and stop playing and stop being scared and stop, Right. So she was like, it's time for you to start doing your thing. So just start doing it. And here we are.
You're doing it. A big part of your thing, and I know, is your son Jalen.
I know.
What is it like being gifted to parent that human?
It is an interesting place to be. That is my dog. Let me tell you. That kid, and he's not a kid, he's a grown-ass man. Let me be clear. But, I get teased constantly. My family's like, that's your baby. Don't mess with my baby. And I'm like, I don't really feel that way, but I act that way. I'm real territorial when it comes to mine. Yeah. And so, I'm a good sharer, but I'm not, he came for me. Anyway, I say all that to say, he is such a wonderful, just human.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And, he's really like, he's getting to this point where he's kind of like wanting to be by himself a lot, and he's isolating, and he's doing this artist thing, and he's got great music. Have you heard Jalen sing?
Yes.
Baby.
Duh.
People keep walking by. I'm sitting in the car at the kitchen, by the way, because I left work and I was like, I'm gonna just do this in the car because I was gonna get sexy for y'all. I had the background, and then so this is where I'm supposed to be. Anyway, Jalen was I won't say perfect, that's a judgment. Jalen was really a great baby. He didn't give me any problems. He slept through the night. He nursed until he was done. He was probably like 1.5, maybe 2, and then that wasn't enough. He needed some food, because he was huge. He's huge. And he wasn't always huge. He was like a big, long baby.
Right.
But he's just been really a joy to parent. Awesome. He was so easy. He didn't get in trouble, really. He did silly, like he flipped his teacher off.
Been there, done that.
And everything that Jalen did to get in trouble, this speaks to Jalen's character. Everything Jalen ever did to get in trouble, like at school and stuff, it was because somebody said something about his mama. He had a necklace that had my mom's ashes in it. It was like a little cross with her ashes, and he was flipping it around his finger. And of course, it annoyed the hell out of the teacher. And the teacher tried to take it, and he was like, "This is my grandmother's ashes, and no, you're not gonna take it from me." And he was like, "Well, if you don't give it to me, you got to go to the office." And he was like, "I guess we're going to the office then." So they called me. He knocked the wind out of somebody for talking about his mama. So it was all like family related.
Protection.
Very protective. He's very protective of me.
Yeah. I mean, I can tell that in y'all interaction. Like, it's so beautiful to watch, like, just you two together and seeing, like, just the love that a parent and a child has for each other, and it's not this like back and forth. It's not a power struggle.
Yeah, that's my dog, man. I mean, every now and then I have to flex and be like, I'm your mama. Hello.
Right.
Hello.
Right.
Every now and then, not very often, because he. My challenge with Jalen is, he can isolate himself, and a mom like you could check on your mother, and my mother was like this. You could check on your mother sometimes.
Right.
We live in the same building, Negro. Like you come knock on the door or something, let me know you're alive. You out here in these streets.
Right.
That's my only challenge with him. And he's become more guarded as an adult, because that's what y'all do. There's a point where he used to tell me everything. I mean,
right.
Everything. And he doesn't do that so much anymore. So that makes me like, oh, I lost my baby, but gotta happen. He's a grown ass man.
Exactly. He'll come back around. Taking it back, I just wanted to throw Jalen in there because I just love watching y'all's relationship, and I love like just that is medicine for a lot of people. If you ever seen Omi and Jalen, it's medicine for me because you can tell the amount of love that's there that you all have for each other. It's really beautiful to watch. Like on the outside, it's so beautiful. Why should people and where can people tune into Sunday service?
There is a Zoom. I'm going to do Zoom and Facebook Live. If I had another iPad or something, I would do Instagram Live too, but I'll just upload it. But Facebook Live and Zoom, there's a Zoom link on all of my social media. You can just go to, I think it's on my story right now.
Yeah, and why should we tune into Sunday service?
Because I said so. No.
Okay. I mean, that's, sometimes it's just like that. It's just because I said so.
Well, because, I think we all in this time need some spiritual food. You know what I'm saying? And we talk about stuff so candidly. Like, I'm probably going to tell my story about this whole falling apart and, like having to, like, no one was available. So I got on Facebook because I had to get it out, right?
Right.
And just we talk about sensitive topics in a safe space. It's safe space. You can come in, you can listen, you can not participate, but we're going to do a meditation. So, we're going to do this meditation with different kinds of music, and it can bring up emotions for people. Some people just need to purge. You can cry, you can laugh. It's a good time. And with a little spiritual healing. And that's the first and third Sundays. Yes.
And 11 to 1?
11 to 1. 11 Pacific time.
Yeah, well, yeah, that time. I'm just glad I got my memory intact that I can remember that.
Baby, let's talk about that memory, man.
Yes, we're going to start wrapping up. Again, I encourage you to feed into our spiritual practitioners. I encourage you to financially feed into them. Omitosin, you can look her up on Venmo and Cash App. Yep. I know under our Instagram and Facebook, we do have our PayPal, but if you can, Omitosin, Venmo, and Cash App, throw us some love, financial love. You also work with That Brown Girl Cooks. Yes. Wednesdays, Saturdays, and am I missing a day?
No, Wednesdays and Saturdays.
12 to 6. 12 to 6. Most people know that I will go after Saturdays, and I'm about to come up there and see you anyway, so I'm going to be there. But where are you all located at, in case folks don't know?
2822 MLK Jr. Way. Yes, across from the Mount Baker bus rodeo situation.
Yes, and cat corner from Starbucks. Yep. MLK and Rainier. Please go support That Brown Girl Cooks. You will see Omi there. The food is free.
Yes, it is.
Donations are.
You can get 1 to 20 meals if you need them.
Donations are encouraged. Yep. Again, everything that I've seen you surrounded by is about community and healing, be it food, be it conversations, be it just like, I remember like you came up to me and you was like, you need to talk to me. And I ain't done that yet, but that was really just like, you need to talk to me because there was just a lot going on. So,
Yeah, you were in the middle of black boys.
Yes.
I could feel all that.
So
Did I
we
make you
gonna have
cry
that
just now? Did you
conversation.
just have a little?
I did.
Yay!
I did. That's like rare on this program that I cry. Rare.
I wanted to not neglect to mention Nile's Edge, because I do a lot of work with those ladies, and they're a great group of healers. Nile's Edge is a holistic healing practice owned and run by Black women. And we have Reiki counseling, art healing. So Sadiqa Iman and Katrina Sanford and Ashe we all, work in and out of there. And it's such an amazing space. So I didn't want to neglect to mention them because, they get on my list.
Yeah, and we're definitely going to have Sadiqa on to talk about Nile's Edge. Again, like this whole conversation started off as like artists, and then we were just like, wait, there's food artists, there's healing arts, there's like so many different things that we can't talk to everybody, but we're going to try to talk to as many people as possible. My last question for you, which I love this question, especially in the midst of all of this, what is your joy?
Doing what I'm doing. I'm finally like living in my purpose. I feel like I'm living in my purpose. So doing the Sunday service is a chore and labor of love. And they always tell me, you never pass the plate. I always forget. I don't even have my stuff posted. So I will remember tomorrow. But this is, and then working for That Brown Girl Cooks, that's my family. So of course. And I get to be with my sons. And so my life is good. Life is good.
That's so beautiful. If people want to get in contact with you directly, how can they do that?
Omitosin@gmail.
Awesome. So y'all heard it. I'm Danny Terrell with Central Diploma for Arts and Ideas. We're talking to Omitosin King. Omi, I do love you. I love your energy consistently.
I love you back. Now you're making me cry. Really?
We're going to have a cry fest today, and again, folks, if you see these folks out here, support the work that they're doing. We cannot get through this without their work. If you think that you can, you are lying to yourself. If you think that $5 won't go a long way, it will for the work that they do. Like, let's just be real. And we know people are out of work and out of jobs and all that other stuff, but our
energy. It's an exchange of energy, because if we're giving our energy, it's a taboo for me to give away my energy for free. So I don't care if you give me a paperclip, $5, $5,000, whatever. It's an exchange of energy. You got to look at it that way. You get what you pay for.
Exactly.
Unless I offer, which I do, and I do readings, by the way. So if you want to get a reading, we can do a Zoom reading. I just want people to recognize the work that you all do to keep us grounded and to keep us safe. Even when we don't know y'all doing the work, we know that your prayers and your talks with ancestors go a long way. Next week we have Michael Maine. You have a birthday coming up May 6th. Yeah, on Wednesday. It's my birthday. Hey. This is the first time I haven't been excited about my birthday. I'm like, this sucks.
But it's here.
I'm good, and I'm still here to have another one. I won't tell
exactly. But it's here. Yes. May 5th and 6th for City Point, we have Give Big. Please check that out on our Instagram and Facebook. May 9th, we have Mama Muse, the festival happening with Monique Franklin from 4 to 6. So just check us out again, omitosin@gmail.com, Omitosin, Cash App, and Venmo. You can also look on our stuff to look at her PayPal, all that stuff. It was so great to talk to you. I will see you in a little bit. That's all I got to say.
Oh, no, I'll be gone, but they'll be there.
Okay, well then I won't see you, but just make sure they have my food set aside.
I got you. And you said you need how many? 2. Got you.
No meat stuff.
No meat. No fish?
Bye, everybody. Huh?
No fish?
No.
Okay. I got you.
If Marlon was here, I would give the fish to him, but I was just like, no, because they'll just sit there. And I'll be like, what you supposed to do with this?
Oh. I got you. I love you. Thank you so much.
I love you. Thank you so much for this.
I'm so
honored.
honored.
It's so great to see you and talk to you.
You too, baby.
Bye.